Guests of honors, media friends and representatives, sponsors and partners, welcome to the Eurosphere 2017 press conference. Eurosphere 2017 is a new concept trade event dedicated to the various European quality products that will be brought to Vietnamese and Southeast Asia market. It was introduced in the context of the new free trade agreement between the European Union and Vietnam. Vietnam being the first country to sign such an agreement in Asia after Singapore. And now, to kick start our press conference, I would like to give the floor to His Excellency Bruno Angelet, Ambassador, Head of the Delegation of the European Union to Vietnam.
Thưa các bạn Việt Nam thân mến, thưa các bạn công dân châu Âu, dear Vietnamese friends, dear fellow citizens from Europe. Thay mặt cho phái đoàn Liên minh châu Âu, tôi rất là hạnh phúc được gặp nhiều bạn ở đây hôm nay, và tôi cũng muốn bảo là phái đoàn Liên minh châu Âu rất ủng hộ EVBN và đặc biệt là hoạt động Eurosphere. Saying that I'm very happy to be here, and on behalf of the EU delegation, we're very proud to be supporting EVBN and in particular Eurosphere. The question is, what would be the right message, and what is the story for you on Eurosphere? Well, I've been working for the EU delegation since 1 year and a half, and I so often hear that you, dear Vietnamese friends, you are the Italians of Southeast Asia. I talked about Italy, and there's a reason for it, not only because of the similarities, because Italy has been the center of political union during the Roman Empire, Rome, but then during the Middle Ages, and in particular since Renaissance, everything related to culture, literature, poetry, philosophy, painting, it was all Italy, and Italy was really the center of it. And that's why if we hear that you are the Italians of Southeast Asia, be proud of it. Eurosphere is a great opportunity because it is bringing Europe to Vietnam, but I think also bringing a bit of more of Vietnam later on to Europe, I hope, and also bring more of Europe in Southeast Asia thanks to the activity we set up here for the first time ever. On promoting refined lifestyle, luxury products, I think that Vietnam and Europe are the best partners in crime. I mean the best partners in style. So Eurosphere, the slogan of Eurosphere should be Vietnam, Europe, partners in style, and I believe the best partners in style. The most urbanized, with rich cities. We first of all talk about history and civilization. Yes, Europe là lịch sử và văn minh rất là cao và rất là thú vị. And this has brought to us great cultural union all over Europe, in architecture, in dress code, in literature, in philosophy, in science and innovation. Europe has been a great open space for culture and civilization since centuries. And what we see now, and what you see through the luxury brands, is just the top of the iceberg, because behind of that there is a rich history, a rich civilization. Culture, it is beauty, it is quality, it is style, it is depth, and it is class. So for us to promote European lifestyle brands in Vietnam is a great honor. But again, as I said, I think it's best to do it with Vietnam in Southeast Asia because you match with us. To conclude, a little word on the free trade agreement. As you know, we have concluded a free trade agreement. You have concluded a free trade agreement with the biggest economy on earth. Because Eurosphere is bringing luxury brands to Vietnam, but it's focused, it's aiming at the big distributors, the retailing sector, the hospitality industry, with Eurosphere in Saigon, the brands all over ASEAN. And with the free trade agreement, as we just heard, there is a free trade agreement with Singapore now, but you're the second one having a free trade agreement in ASEAN. With a free trade agreement and Eurosphere in Saigon, it means jobs and prosperity for you Vietnamese friends, because at the end of the day, what you can do is bring much more lifestyle brands from Europe to Vietnam, to Saigon, and promote. I must say, with the strong support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Industry and Trade in Hanoi, and with DOFA, and the Department of Industry and Trade here in Ho Chi Minh City. I would like to congratulate very much the chairman of EVBN.
Và sự góp mặt của EVBN, Hiệp hội các doanh nghiệp châu Âu, rõ ràng sự hợp tác giữa EVBN cùng tuần lễ thời trang quốc tế Việt Nam, Vietnam International Fashion Week sẽ mở ra những cơ hội mới, hứa hẹn sẽ có ngày càng nhiều hơn các nhà thiết kế đến từ các kinh đô thời trang của châu Âu, đem nền văn hóa nổi tiếng từ châu Âu đến gần hơn với khán giả Việt.
Và bây giờ xin mời bà Trang Lê, Chủ tịch của Vietnam International Fashion Week phát biểu. And now I would like to invite Ms. Trang Lê, President of the Vietnam International Fashion Week.
Đầu tiên tôi cảm thấy rất là vinh hạnh được cùng với Eurosphere từ một cuộc họp rất là đơn giản, nhưng mà ngày hôm nay chúng tôi đã trở thành đối tác của nhau. Và kính thưa quý vị, Việt Nam chúng ta đã qua thời ăn no mặc ấm và bây giờ chúng ta đã đến thời ăn ngon mặc đẹp. Chính vì vậy cho nên là sau 5 mùa tổ chức Vietnam International Fashion Week thì ngày hôm nay chúng tôi rất là vui mừng là sau 5 mùa tổ chức thì Vietnam International Fashion Week đã có những bước tiến rất là quan trọng. Và chúng tôi, cái điều đó được thể hiện qua việc là không chỉ chúng tôi đã tìm kiếm và phát hiện ra rất nhiều các nhà thiết kế tài năng của Việt Nam, mà chúng tôi còn là nơi, Vietnam International Fashion Week còn là nơi mà trình diễn rất nhiều các cái bộ sưu tập thời trang của các nhà thiết kế trên thế giới, đặc biệt là không thể thiếu những nhà thiết kế đến từ các kinh đô thời trang của châu Âu như là Paris, Milan, London và rất nhiều các cái quốc gia như Bồ Đào Nha và Đức. Năm 2017 chúng tôi vừa kết thúc cách đây 2 tuần. Chính vì vậy, và tuần lễ thời trang không chỉ là cái nơi trình diễn, tuy nhiên thì không chỉ là nơi trình diễn các bộ sưu tập, mà Vietnam International Fashion Week ngày hôm nay chúng tôi đã mở ra rất nhiều cơ hội. Và bằng chứng là tuần lễ thời trang xuân hè 2017 chúng tôi đã có sự tham dự của các đại sứ quán, rõ ràng là mở ra những cơ hội hội nhập rất là lớn. Chính vì vậy cho nên được trở thành một đối tác của Eurosphere trong sự kiện lần này, chúng tôi rất là kỳ vọng rằng chắc chắn là trong tương lai sẽ có thêm nhiều những nhà thiết kế thời trang của châu Âu sẽ đến Việt Nam, và không chỉ dừng lại ở việc các nhà thiết kế, và chúng tôi nghĩ là sẽ mở ra những cơ hội để đưa nền văn minh, sẽ đưa nhiều cái phong cách sống của châu Âu đến với Việt Nam và sẽ giúp cho đời sống của người Việt Nam sẽ nâng lên. Và tôi xin chúc cho Eurosphere lần đầu tiên tổ chức sẽ thành công tốt đẹp, và tôi tin rằng không chỉ dừng lại ở mùa đầu tiên, và đây sẽ là một sự kiện rất là lớn cho đời sống của và cũng như là các doanh nghiệp của Việt Nam và châu Âu có cơ hội để chúng ta cùng phát triển trong tương lai. Xin cảm ơn.
Thank you, Ms. Trang Lê. I would like now to welcome on the floor Mr. Pierre-Jean Manguier, Chairman of the EVBN, organizer of Eurosphere. Tiếp theo tôi xin mời ông Pierre-Jean Manguier, Chủ tịch mạng lưới doanh nghiệp châu Âu tại Việt Nam, ban tổ chức Eurosphere.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased today to be with you. So, I would like first of all to not contradict what our ambassador said before, but I have just a bit of different vision about where Vietnam stands within ASEAN. And I heard a lot that Vietnamese people were looking like the French of the ASEAN. So it is a joke, of course, at the same time. But that's true that EVBN was born thanks to a strong alliance between the French Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam and the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam. We were the two co-founders of the project, soon after joined by the Eurocham and many other parties involved in doing and promoting European business in Vietnam. So this first event is hopefully the beginning of a long story, the beginning of, a great event that we hope will definitely help European businesses to come more into Vietnam, will help Vietnamese businesses to go into Europe, and will be a true regional event, allowing also Vietnam to enlighten all the ASEAN countries with their strong ties to Europe. So thanks a lot for your time and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Manguier. Cảm ơn ông Pierre-Jean Manguier. And to give you more details on Eurosphere itself, I would like to now invite Ms. Delphine Rousselet, Director of the EVBN.
Yes, Eurosphere. Why did we wanted to have Eurosphere? And why did we wanted to have it in Vietnam? Different reasons, of course. Being in Vietnam and being one of the person maybe most in love with the country, I do believe that Vietnam, and most of all Ho Chi Minh, is a hub. I do believe as well that this is a place to be, because, as I said, right now it's the first country in Southeast Asia after Singapore to sign a free trade agreement. Ho Chi Minh is the second city in the world most dynamic city. That was listed by the World Economic Forum in 2016. That makes me very, very proud to live here. So, the event, what will it be exactly? It will be exhibition. It will be B2B meetings. This is really the added value we have for the newcomers, okay? The new companies coming to Vietnam for first time. We will have conferences, we will have a gala dinner, we will have fashion show, we will have social events. If you're not convinced that this is a challenge, believe me, it is. Details more in program. So 2 days, Friday the 16th, Saturday the 17th, 2 days exhibition happening at the Gem Center, opening ceremony, B2B meetings, a gala dinner happening at the Reverie Hotel on Friday the 16th, B2B meetings again on the second day. This is really what we want to focus on. It's to make sure to organize B2B meetings for the newcomers companies, okay, to introduce them the right possible partner to develop their business in Vietnam. For the companies already based here, because this is something quite important to highlight, we have had quite a lot of companies, European companies, asking us to deal with their local partner, which makes total sense, of course, because they don't need to send collections, they don't need to send products, and sometimes when their brand is just about to be launched or has just started and they still need a push in communication, this is the perfect event for them, and this is why we're dealing with the local representatives. I'll come back after to the gala dinner. So, what about exhibitors? As I said, art of living, for European countries at least, it's a mix of different sectors: fashion accessories, perfumery, cosmetics, furniture, interior decor, gourmet food, beverages, and including automotive as well. As you understand, multi-country, multi-products, this is a challenge, so the only way to make it, consistent, is to have a logic in terms of quality level, okay? So multi-country, multi-sectors, but only premium products. This is really the objective. So elegance, sophistication, harmonious living of European style and culture. We will have around 80 European brands showcasing during 2 days, and as I said, some of those brands are coming from Europe. They don't have a clue about the market, so this is those, of course, we have to support more. This is our role as European project. We have then brands displaying their products and already distributed here in Vietnam by local partners. This is about European art of living, but we are in Vietnam. Okay, so we wanted to find a way to create a bridge between that. And the idea was to create a special area in the fair dedicated to European success stories. Fashion show, we have the great pleasure to have 3 different brands, and same, we wanted to make a mix. So we will have a European success stories. Metiseco is one clear European success stories in Vietnam, created by French entrepreneurs, but they would have never done that without Vietnam, without materials, without the cotton, without the silk they can find in Vietnam. So this is linked to the European success stories I just detailed before, but that will happen on stage during the gala dinner on the 16th. Oh, something happened? Okay. Second show will be Eric Resina. Eric is a French designer. Okay, so we will have the success stories, as you remember. We will have a French designer, and we will have a Vietnamese designer. So we target 3,500 visitors, mainly B2B visitors, okay, decision makers in hospitality, food and beverage, restaurants, many different things, or shopping malls as well. Wealthy end customers, celebrities, VIPs, of course, because they are also customers and they can attract. And we will have media. We have a massive media coverage. We are quite lucky. Partners, because we are working very closely with our regional partners, so other EU-funded projects. We have colleagues in all the countries in the region. They are working with us already on this. They are making sure to inform the medias in their countries. So for this reason, this press conference is being filmed today, and we will put that in, of course, online, so all the media in the region, informed by our colleagues, will be able to see this press conference without traveling. We have partners, of course, as well in Europe, some federations, associations, chambers of commerce. This is very important. Just something I want to highlight because it's important for EVBN, yes, for Eurosphere, but it could be important as well for the future and maybe for some of you in the room. You can see above the left side this Enterprise Europe Network little logo. Maybe you don't all know about this. Enterprise Europe Network, it's a huge network in Europe, mainly in Europe, gathering more than 650 partners. Among the 650, I would say that 500 are in Europe and the rest is outside Europe.
Thank you, Ms. Rosley. And now we will move to the Q&A session of this press conference. And I would like to give the floor to you all to ask.
I know you.
Okay, my name is Alma Drösner, I'm the Executive Director of Eurocharm. I'd like to ask a few questions about the spread of the different products that will be displayed, and also what kind of countries will be represented. You mentioned Italy and France already, but maybe also some of the other countries that will be represented. If you can maybe give a bit of an overview of the industries and the countries represented. Thank you.
We have companies coming from different countries of Europe, of course. By companies, I would like to say I mean brands, okay? We have brands coming from Belgium, from Greece, from Portugal, from Spain, Germany, Estonia, Lithuania. She's here just telling me. What else?
Mostly
Ireland, UK. So we don't have the 28 represented, but quite a beautiful part of the 28. Depends if you speak in terms of square meters or in terms of brands, because in terms of brands, I think that cosmetics and perfumery will be quite well represented, but it doesn't take so many square meters. It's usually small products. We have, of course, automotive. When you put two cars, it's already many square meters. Furniture, it's quite well represented as well. Furniture and interior decor in a general aspect. Fashion and accessories, we have some jewelry brand and some fashion brand. I think one of the most, or the less represented will be fine food, gourmet food, and wine and spirit.
I'm Venus from Harper's Bazaar, Vietnam. Not only just for Eurosphere, but also for the long vision. What is your ideas? What is your plan? What is your strategy in promoting the trade relationships between the countries? Because we don't just look at one event, but we look at the far future. Thank you.
You should know that today Europe, being the biggest foreign trader, is since less than 10 years doing 40% of its foreign trade with Asia. It's quite new. It's a really new trend where we have started to trade much more services and goods between Asia and Europe. And ASEAN is a very important commercial partner for the future, as it is 600 million people, and it may be a new engine of growth after China, because the development model of China is now quite sophisticated, getting at a high level, but the growth will be less strong, and ASEAN clearly is the strong part of the puzzle for the future. And Vietnam has a very particular place in this, because not many people know, but Vietnam's economy is the most open economy after Singapore amongst the ASEAN 10. If you look only at the trade of goods, Vietnam is foreign trade of Vietnam stands for 83% of its GDP, meaning that whatever it produces over 1 year, 83 goes in foreign trade. It's really remarkable. The problem in the future is that a lot of the foreign trade of Vietnam is done by foreign direct investment. It's not Vietnamese companies doing these exports, it's basically foreign investment. And there I think in the future we have to promote much more homegrown, small and medium-sized companies and Vietnamese companies so that they get a bigger part of the cake in foreign trade. That's very important. Now, Vietnam towards ASEAN has become since 2 years the biggest exporter of goods to Europe. We are trading more than all the others. It's due to Samsung, it's part of the story, and electronics, but still it's a very interesting thing. You were asking what's next after Eurosphere, etc. What's next after the free trade agreement with Vietnam? I really believe, and this is what I said to the European leaders and the Vietnamese leaders, that there's a fantastic story going on, because within ASEAN having a free trade agreement with Singapore is interesting, but it will boost investment in the service sector, and it will boost much more European presence in Singapore. But with Vietnam, it's much wider and deeper, because Vietnam is a country in industrialization, the share of the population, and then Vietnam within ASEAN, the 600 and the ASEAN Economic Community, means that for us, investing in Vietnam, today European investment is number 5 or number 6 amongst all. It's not big, because Europe is the biggest investor in China, the biggest investor in India, the biggest investor in ASEAN, with the biggest investor in the United States. European investment in the United States is producing most of the jobs due to foreign investment. For Vietnam, we can go much faster, much higher, and I think it will come with the free trade agreement. So on Eurosphere, just to summarize on Eurosphere, I think in particular in the art of life, in the sector of luxury brands, design, etc. In particular, there I think there's a real big scope for investment, for trading between Vietnam and Europe, but also promote from Vietnam the brands all over ASEAN. Because why should it always be Hong Kong or Singapore? It can very well be Saigon in the future, Saigon or Hanoi. I mean, but as we do now, Eurosphere in Ho Chi Minh City, I think for our Vietnamese friends, the story of Eurosphere in Ho Chi Minh City should serve to promote Ho Chi Minh City as a hub to promote lifestyle brands. Thank you.
I may add something in relation with EVBN. EVBN is a program that will still be under operation for a bit less than 2 years. We hope to some extent, and this is not a message, Bruno, but that it will be extended for at least 1 or 2 more years. But basically, during this remaining time, our objective is to put Eurosphere as the exhibition, the regional exhibition for luxury goods and European brands in ASEAN, and this is really the objective. So we have hopefully 2 more editions after this one to reach that. But EVBN is also strongly focusing on developing business opportunities between European companies and Vietnamese companies. We organize regular trade missions. We had a trade mission just a few months ago in the F&B sector, where we have more than 30 European companies coming to Vietnam the first time to discover and try to do business in Vietnam. So this is part also of our role to develop these kind of things, and we have a full range of services to accompany European businesses to discover a Vietnam market. And I'm a strong believer as well that thanks to all this kind of initiative, and thanks to the fact that Vietnam is the second, and I would say the only real country, because Singapore is quite a small country, if I may say, is the only real big country having signed a FTA with Europe. I'm a strong believer that Vietnam could become a platform for European investment in all ASEAN, particularly with the ASEAN Economic Community coming up very soon. So this is an opportunity as well, definitely for Vietnam, to really play very well with this free trade agreement signed with Europe, and to use it for his own development, his own regional development. And as EVBN, definitely will keep pushing and keep developing all kind of initiative to make it happen.
Okay, good morning everybody. I would like to ask one question also. So my name is Guillaume Crouzet, I'm the General Manager of the French Chamber of Commerce here in Vietnam. Can you give us a bit more of insight about the gala dinner and what would be the content? I heard that there will be a chef also coming from Europe. Can you?
Yes, so the gala dinner will happen on Friday the 16th of June, which is the evening between the 2 days exhibition. It will have to push the walls a little bit to reach 380 people. We will have a first event, kind of private event, before the gala dinner in the foyer to showcase different brands. I don't want to display too much now about the names because it's still under negotiation. It's almost done, but until it's done, I don't believe anyone. So we should have the confirmation in the next couple of days. And then, of course, gala dinner. We will have a French chef, star Michelin chef coming from Europe. We will have different performances on stage. So the fashion shows, as I just shared with you, we will have probably a dancing show as well. We will have probably beautiful gifts offered to the audience. Not really in a lucky draw. I don't like the word lucky draw, but we will find a way to animate this and to have this beautiful beautiful presence worn into the audience. As you say, it's a very, very interesting question because bringing people here, it's a first step, and it is only a first step. But already for this first step, we have to assist them quite a lot to help them to do their homework, to prepare the trip to Vietnam, to better understand how they will negotiate with Vietnamese counterparts, because Vietnam is Vietnam, and when some of them told me that they work in XYZ countries in Asia, it has nothing to do. Vietnam is different. So we have to do a lot of work on this to explain them how they will work, how they can negotiate, what questions they could ask in a meeting and what questions they should really avoid, because this is very rude in Vietnamese culture, what things they definitely need to check, because it's important before going further into a negotiation. So yes, we have this kind of service. In our team, EVBN, we also have a lawyer, a legal advisor, Vietnamese legal advisor, and his main role, it's exactly that. It's to guide the companies into laws, Vietnamese laws, paperwork, licenses, what do they need to do to obtain the license to be able to sell this or this or this product, etc., etc. So yes, this is part of our job. Mr. Long has joined us. Thank you so much for coming. We all delivered already our speeches, so now you are the one. Just a few words and we come back to Q&A.
Thank you so much. Well, this kind of press conference reminds me of my time being ambassador of Vietnam to Italy. You know, Italy is the place of lifestyle and art of living. and of course, yes, I agree with. It's not only fashion. You know, the art of living is food, is beverage, is architecture, is many things. So. Well, actually, the reason why we are here today as my department is we are partnered with the EVBN and with Eurocharm and other European BAs in promoting European business investment in Vietnamese provinces, and of course by promoting European business and trade investment in European art of living. And the reason why, because we consider European partners the top priority partner of Vietnam because of its high quality, high standard, its high education, many things high. I mean, actually, culture. Living and working in Italy for more than 13 years taught me how is important the quality of life and not the quantity of life.
Before we move to coffee and tea, we would like to thank all our sponsors: Air France, KLM, the Vietnam International Fashion Week, Cargo Team, This Events, Sunflower Media with Her World, Harper's Bazaar, Esquire, Oriental Media with Her Yang, Deluxe Magazine, Ringier with Elle, Elle-Man, Elle Decoration, Asia Briefing, World Magazine, Ashui, and Miss in Asia. We would also like to thank our speakers, media friends and representatives, and our partners for coming today. We are looking forward to see you all at the Gem Center on June 16 and 17 for an amazing exhibition all about European art of living. Thank you.